Yes, indeed, I am live. I am live. I am live. I am live. But I just want to give y'all a few minutes to tune in because guess what? Today, it's just me and you, my friend. I don't believe there's going to be a Whiskey Charlie or a Killer Wolf today. They both had other plans. They sort of on a little mini vacay. So it's going to be just me and you today, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a minute and let a few people tune in before I really begin. So sit back and listen to the music and tell me how's your Sunday been going so far. Chat down in the chat. Tell me where you're at, where you're tuning in from. Make sure you share this video with at least two dragons, two battles. Share it with at least two battle buddies, two friends, two family members, two of anybody and two of everybody. Share it with two people. Leave a comment down below. Please excuse me as I attempt to carry this flow today because it's just me and you all by myself, nobody to go back and forth with, but I'll be okay. God got me. Well, I want to keep it efficient, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into this thing. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Big Sarge, large and in charge of my one and only self, taking myself up off the shelf to find my greatest internal wealth by breaking down my external self, get rid of my pride, get rid of my ego, checking myself, learning myself, become a better version of me. Hopefully, you're doing the same thing for you. But you know what it is? It's speak grunt, or as I like to call it, grunt speak. Speak grunt when we speak to you, you come through and you speak to us too. That's what I'm hoping that you do, especially since Whiskey Charlie and Killer Wolf ain't here. But they said they might tune in, they might chime in, they might come through. So now you got to listen to old Big Sarge, Staff Sarge talk to you today about getting on a job anyway. But it's grunt speak. When we speak to you and you come through in the chat, you speak too. Check this out. This is specifically to you. 11B, 11 Charlie, this is for you. From me to you. 11 Alpha 2. 0311 for the Marine Corps crew and all the family members that helped uplift you and helped you get through for those tough times when you're going through. This speak grunt, I'm speaking directly to you. I know what you're going through and I know what you've been through and I know what you've grown through. But what I need you to do is get on here and I need you to share on this platform so we can help the other grunt brothers too. Because we fought so many wars, now we fighting a war within to really get to learn the best version of you. And this is for my Air Force brethren and my Air Force sister and my Navy members too. I met a fine young gentleman today, by the way, from the church. His name was Miles. Yes. His name was Miles, and it was very interesting because he was from the opposite side of town of me. I'm from the west side of Detroit, 7 Mile. He was from the east side, where my queen was born and raised, you see. It was very, 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 very interesting. So anyhow, this is just from you to me. This is for the grunts. Please come through and speak. Hopefully something that what I say will bless you. God will actually use me in a way to bless you and your family. You hopefully having a breakthrough or something that you need to get through or you need to go through. This message is something that he gave to me, but I want to share it with you. And that's what I get to do because Whiskey Charlie and Killer Wolf ain't here. So it's just me and you. Drop down in the chat what you've been up to, how you been doing, how's your family doing, and we'll begin to win. I was kind of surfing through the internet before. Let me turn this music down. Now I need my headphones. I was surfing through the internet earlier today, and I was looking up some few things, kind of what's going on in the now. And we all know what's a big thing right now. It is Roe v. Wade overturn. Roe v. Wade overturn. Gun control laws, extensions or enforcements, or something that the Supreme Court just passed. I was just looking at something on the Army Times about the Marine Corps and the Army reporting disproportionate substance abuse and mental healthness. Mental health issues. Mental healthness. Where did I get that from, Grunt? Mental health issues. And these are things that people have always gone through, been going through, maybe even including me and you, but just didn't know how to address those things because we didn't believe that if it didn't physically hurt, it was really a thing. But now we're finding out that later in life, the mental thing causes more damage than the actual physical thing. The mental thing could actually cause the physical thing to occur. Understand what I'm saying? It was just interesting to see of like what's going on in the world right now. What's going on in the world right now? What's going on in your world right now? Before I get into this too deep, I feel like today I need to definitely pray. Hey, Tim, how you doing, my brother? I just happened to come back to the page where I was actually on the other page reading something else. Happy to see you today, my brother. It's just my face. No Whiskey Charlie, no Killer Wolf. They both are on a short vacay. I believe Whiskey Charlie is headed to North Kakalaki to see some family, North Carolina, that way. That would be the home of the 82nd Airborne, I believe. And then Killer Wolf, he might be out on the open seas doing some deep sea fishing or something like that. I don't know. Bayou boy, he out back. But so you got me. And I think the topic is pretty interesting. It's time to punch in. It's time to punch in. I have to, is what I used to say. I have to go back to work again like it was a cardinal sin, like it was something that was bothering me, something that troubled me. Chairborne. Factual PTS can destroy a warrior. PTSD can destroy a warrior. Absolutely, it can. I definitely was that man. At one point in time, I definitely was that man. I did not believe that the things that I had seen and done in Iraq affected my mind in the way it did. And I'm realizing it every day that there's things that I hid behind that I was afraid to admit that I was mentally shooken by the things that happened and I was bothered by it. Man, I tell you how full circle I've came. It used to be a point where I wouldn't allow anyone to drive me around because of the rollover accident I had been in and the roadside bombs I had been through in Iraq. And maybe only one or two on my actual vehicle, but I think the rollover was pretty traumatic for me. And so for a long time, I wouldn't let anyone drive me around. And come around full circle, now I'm getting ready to assist a friend of mine who owns a driver's training business. I'm going to be a student. I'm going to be a driver's trainer, a driver's instructor. And I think that'll be pretty cool because I get to do my inspirational thing too and talk to different people and move around. But I was just thinking to myself, wow, look how I've come full circle by going from being afraid to ride with anyone, wouldn't allow anyone to drive me around, to now I'm willingly allowing to put myself in that position again, which really is harm's way. Which really makes you feel like you don't have control, you know? But sometimes you have to put yourself in those positions in order to grow, right? So that's kind of what talking about today. It's time to punch in. It's time to get back to work again. it's it's definitely PTSD is not it's not the ultimate sin, it's not a cardinal sin, but it is a sin when we begin to allow ourselves to stay stuck in a space that's not meant for us to be. And I know it's uncomfortable because it was uncomfortable for me, and it's still uncomfortable for me. As I sit here and I tell this story, and as I share this today, right now, Father God, I thank you for using me today to put this message out in your way so someone on here may hear the words that you have me say to bless them and their family. I don't know where you're going to have this message go today, but I know it's going to be something that's going to help someone grow today. And every word that come out of my mouth will be true today because it'll be used by you today. Hope I don't offend anybody if they turned off today, but if they turned off today, they were supposed to go away anyway, Father God. This is to bless somebody who may be having a tough time today, Father God, somebody who feel like they losing their mind today, Father God. So I just thank and praise you for this opportunity, for using me to share this message with my brothers, your children, to do what you called me to do. And amen. Blessings to you and me. Amen. All right. So let's go. Let's get back into this thing. Um, Let me check out these real quick. I was talking about the PTSD and how, yes, that had bothered me and it stopped me for a long time, and it definitely will break a warrior. It'll take you, actually, I'll put it to you like this. My topic is time to punch in, and I'm talking about using the analogy as actually I'm getting ready to go back to work. I consider myself to went down the entrepreneur's path, from having a 15-year career in the military, from owning my own business at one point in time, from working multiple jobs, to going back to school late in life and attempting and working toward becoming an entrepreneur, building a business as a speaker, building a business as a coach, being a mentor, being a husband, being a father, being all these things that I had never done before, and attempting to adjust to the ever-changing aspect of it, but at the same time feeling like I was slipping into a depressive state because financially I felt like I was suffering. But at the same time, not understanding that I had paid off a lot of things even during that time of me not working, of me doing the entrepreneur thing. I had paid off a child support thing. I paid off a car thing. I paid off a credit thing. I paid off a lease thing. Like, I had paid off several things, not even understanding, not even understanding the mission and the ride that I was about to be on. So feeling like, it was time to punch in, time to get back on the job, time to get back on your post, and being grateful that you're able to do your job again. So knowing that I was able to pay some things off even when I wasn't working was letting me know that how much God was with me, something bigger was with me. Now that I'm getting to the point where I have to get a job again, I started to feel different, bad, like I had lost, like I had failed at being an entrepreneur, not understanding that this was a reset. Like, it's time to get a structure again. It's time to punch back in, because when you was an entrepreneur, you was by yourself. You had built a little wealth, but now that you have a family, you have to build greater wealth, and you have to do it a different way. You have to watch over your health, and you might not be able to do that all by yourself. So maybe you getting a job is not a bad thing. You punching in is a thing for you to continue to build a dream. You punching in may not be going back to work for you. You punching in may be going to see a therapist at the VA, or maybe going to see a personal therapist talking about what you're going through. You punching in may be having a marriage counseling session with your wife. And I'm going to get right to these chats in just a second, right? Might be you having a counseling session with your wife. You having a session with yourself about your health. Hey, my dog is on my side. Hey, both of them. Hey, they're not going to come to the camera today, and I'm not going to move it down. Hey, they're usually not over here. Okay, see you later. Go home. Go home. Thank you. Anyhow, What do you have to punch into? That's what the real question is, and that's what I want to talk about with you today. Punching in, getting back on the job, and how to be grateful for it, and then some steps how to punch back in. Again, it might not be work for you. It may not be work for you. It's something else that you need to punch into. Being in the infantry, being in the army, being in the Navy, you had a position in your team. You had a role to play in your section, in your squad. It was something that you was responsible for punching in, something you was responsible for getting done. That if you didn't do it, things were off. So in life, in your life, for you right now, it's something that could possibly be off, or something that you want to be greater at that you need to punch in a little harder to. You need to get back to work. Okay, cool. Here we go. Let me get into these chats. I ain't gonna apologize for that. I already said hey to Tim. Thank you to Tim again. Hey man, please share with a friend. You said facts PTSD can destroy a warrior, and you said no PTS. No, PTS, no D. It's not a disorder. The definition of disorder is an abnormal person dealing with normal situation. No PTS, no PTS, no D. It's not a disorder. The definition of a disorder is an abnormal person dealing with normal situation. I was the same way. I will not ride in the back seat. Yep. Okay. PTS, no D. Thank you, Tim. I tell everyone that we did not go on patrol alone. Not even a sniper is not alone, so we shouldn't handle PTS alone. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Biggest thing punching into someone else's company is we are not in charge, and that can be difficult. I still battle today. Facts. Yes, Tim. That is difficult for me because I'm older, G. I mean, I'm older, but I'm still young to me. I'm a reality. I'm 45. They say the good Lord gives you 120. That's as long as man is guaranteed alive, I believe, since after the flood. Right? Okay. I don't want to start the right thing. I hear somebody else who say that when they're on camera. I don't want to do that. Guarantee you 120. I'm 45. Most of the people I know that grows that's been around me and in my family, my ancestry, has probably made it to the ripe age about 80. I don't know if I have a 90, but let's just say for all preferences, we have one 90-year-old. But on average, you're talking 75 to 83. Excuse me. So if that's the stance for me, then I'm over halfway. So thinking about it that way, when I'm saying I got to get ready to punch in to go back into a job again, it really does bother me. It makes me feel like I'm getting ready to go back to PTS, as you say, not PTSD. It really does bother me because I've been able to be so free for the last, wow. To be honest, I would say since 2015 when I got out of the Army, but you have to say 2014. In all honesty, freedom. So now to really have to go back into a regular job is kind of bothersome, but here it is. I'm going in with a plan. So now this time when I punch in and I get ready to go back to work, I know what I'm working for. It's when I was in the infantry, you would do all this training. You would do the crawl, the walk, the run phase, the battle drill 1, the battle drill 1 alpha, the battle drill 7. And I don't even remember them all. There's so many of them. But you got, squad attack, you got react to contact, you got ambush, you got inner room clear building, you got inner building clear room. You got so many of these things that you had to do, right? Oh, there I go. Yeah, so many of these things that you had to do But you knew what your job was to do, and all the crawl, walk, run phase of it, when it was time to actually do your job, when it was time to punch in, it was an easy thing to do because you knew it was for a greater purpose. What you did helped the overall team win. Me having to go work for somebody temporarily builds the business, the gift that I know I have in me, in order for me to get to my longevity. It's not about the right now gratification. It's about the delayed gratification. That was our whole setup and planning for the infantry. Everything was setting up something for the delayed gratification. And it's almost the same thing in life. You got to be willing to wait. That the greatest things are done through the test of time. And sometimes when we get distracted, with the symptoms of PTS, man, that's gonna be challenging. No, it's not. See, I'm already telling myself it's gonna be challenging to drop the D because I haven't done all the research, but you just explained it to me. So I can believe what I see, and I can always go back and look later if it really is that big for me. But anyhow, going back into the punching in again, as he was saying down here, biggest thing punching in to someone else's company is that we're not in charge of that. Right, we're not in charge of that. But what I was going at, we're still in charge of our energy and what we do. We know the shift that they give us, so we got to let that go. That really don't belong to me and you. It was like being in the army. It was certain things we could not do. If you tanned your body and you got burned, you could get in trouble for that. Something simple as that too. Just like riding your motorcycle without a PT belt. If you got caught doing that, you had an accident with no seatbelt. So certain things that we didn't do, we didn't control, but we could control because we knew the outcome too, right? So if I know I did it again, we know the outcome. Going into somebody's job, we know we have to get them 8 to 10 hours. We know the outcome. If you may be a software engineer, programmer, you sitting there, you think tanking, you putting things together. If you work a blue collar job, you doing production stuff, the outcome. But you also know you get breaks, like this environment that I'm going into. And I have several of them, to be honest with you. The environment that I'm going into, I almost know the outcome. I have to give 8 to 10 hours of my day away in order to get something to invest in my business. This is what they're asking of me. How much time do I have in between? What is the schedule that I need to set for myself? What do I need to punch into in order to do what I say I want to do? The job, if you look at it as in working just for money, it doesn't better me and you. But if you got that plan and that vision, that thing that you want to do, then you understand the job, the control that they have over you. It doesn't hold you from being the best version of you. Thank you, Jesus. I believe I can use this too. Tom Brady was controlled by Bill Belichick, but it didn't control him from becoming the best quarterback, the GOAT. That's to be unproven yet. But he was within the system and it had someone had control over him, but he was able to still work it to where he could become the best version of him. Again, you can work the job and you don't control how the things go, but you get to control what you do. So that's what I'm looking at going into this job too. Like, I need to punch in for me in order to make sure I get it better for my family. And I think that's what we did in the infantry, making our way through. That's what we did in the army or the services, making our way through. We punched in to help the next person out to be the best version of us. So that's how I think you get the best version of you. But anyhow, let me see. Biggest thing punching in someone else's facts. I'm 54 and the intern. I'm 54 and the intern and still fight that I'm not the boss. I'm 54 and an intern and still fight that I'm not the boss. Excuse me, 53. Laugh out loud as of today. Brady was made by Belichick. They made one another. I'm a huge Brady fan. Back from his Wolverine, Michigan days. That's what I grew up on. That '90s Michigan football. So, um, yeah, and I don't believe you would have heard of Belichick the way you heard of Brady because he started out in Cleveland and he was building something, but they didn't believe in it enough to make it last. So I think they both needed each other, but definitely Brady benefited from it. But I think he still would have turned out to be great. The system did work for him. If he would have had anyone who was willing to work him as hard as Belichick, he still would have been good to me because he's just a guy that played with a chip on his shoulder all the way from high school. So, and Belichick's that same way. But anyhow, I'll get off my Brady bandwagon. That is about the one guy, him and like a Kobe Bryant. There's certain individuals that stick out to me. That's rare breeds to me. Because I believe they always punch in no matter what. They get the job done. They don't make an excuse. They don't blame about who fault it is. They just punch in and get the job done. And that's what I respect about them. That's what I respect about the Warriors. I think that's what we respect about the Warriors. Even you seeing guys like Marcus Luttrell, David Goggins, all these greats, maybe like Jocko. These guys talk about mental health and mental health awareness. Joe Rogan and all these guys that we can kind of say are alpha males in some shape, form, or fashion. But they still have moments as well. But those guys punch in, and that's what guys like Tom Brady remind me of, punching in. So it's like I'm sacrificing for the greater good of something bigger. Again, talking to my buddy Knox today, and I'm like, yeah, man, this going to work thing kind of bothered me because it made me feel like, again, I failed at building my speaking career, building my coaching career. And it's just like, no, it's not over. You're still doing Mr. Peen. You're still doing Speak Grunt. You're still writing speeches. You're still doing these things, but this is just like a side job. This is no different than doing DoorDash, Lyft, or Uber. This is just a little bit more structure. This is just punching back in. This is just being on a stack team, being a fourth man and watch the rear and come around and kick the door instead of being a first man and peel right or peel left. This is just punching back in. This is just sitting down, having a conversation with your wife or your kids, if you going through that too, about what they feel, what you feel, listening to understand, not listening just to reply. This is about punching in. This is about changing what we eat, what we put in our bodies, what we listen to, what we read. This is about getting back on the job of being an amazing individual that you believe you're supposed to be. Not what they say you are, not what they see, not what they want you to believe, but what you believe. So this had to be me understanding that this isn't a bad thing. And I know this might not be a big thing to you, but it was a big thing for me. But this isn't a bad thing because I have a blueprint for how I'm going to go through this thing, and I have a timeline for exiting. Now, I get it. The best laid plans sometimes go by the wayside, but that's not what's on my mind. What's on my mind is I have a plan, and for that point, I can begin. Let me get in these chats. I disagree. Any other coach would not have brought that out. I don't, without Belichick, we would have never heard of Brady. Brady was made. I disagree. I disagree that Brady was made by Belichick because I was watching him back in his Michigan days. So, again, and I get it, that's two different levels. But when you talk about 1990s football and you 53, so you get it. You talk about 1990s football, the Big Ten was it. That was your SEC, Michigan, Ohio State. The Big Ten was your Alabama. So Brady, I think, went through the ringer. He had already had that toughness and that tenacity. Bill Belichick just gave him what he worked great in, which was a system. And he pushed him to be great. He rode him hard. But I think he had already had that toughness and that tenacity that no matter what, I'm going to be a winner. He said it. If the coach ever put me in, I'm never getting out. So Bill Belichick just didn't take Brady and say, we're going to put him right in. Bledsoe got hurt. Brady was great because of his execution, and him and Bill Belichick worked together, and he got great. He got better. That's how I see it. But I respect your point. That's cool. I respect that. Um, I disagree. Any other coach would not have brought that out. I don't know. I don't know if there's another coach as good as Bill Belichick. To be honest with you, I don't know if they would have brought that out either. I don't. I don't know. Can I go old school and say maybe Jimmy Johnson? Maybe a Sean Payton. I don't know if that coach is out there, but yeah. Look at agreed. I disagree. Any other coach agreed? Look at two that you are helping another. Yes, Sutton wouldn't be a grunt great. Sutton wouldn't be a grunt great without Big Sarge. Tim Stryker knows Michigan days and winning the 7th round. Yes, he was actually 199th pick, the very bottom of the 6th round. I don't know what Sutton would be without old Big Sarge. Me and Sutton was having that conversation. Old Whiskey Charlie was having that conversation not too long ago. And it's funny that you mentioned that, and I'm going to tie it back into the topic about punching in and getting back to work. He talks about that. The way his work ethic is and what he does at Home Depot and how proud he is of what he does. He talks about how guys like me and Sergeant Carl, Sergeant Gates, how Sergeant Seafood and a team that we had, in the platoon that we had, he was influenced by the hard work that we did. We always showed up ready to work on the job. We was hard on our guys, but we understood our assignment and we led by example. And he talks about using some of those same techniques and philosophies that we had today in his life. I mean, in his work at Home Depot. And he talks about some of the values that his dad had instilled in him too, about why he punch in the way he do. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's I don't know if we always see the things that we actually do. I believe, as Tim was saying, look at it too that you're helping another. I don't know exactly where we was at on that, but again, what you just said, Faust, him being a great guy, what some of my leadership and tutelage, what God blessed me to do, to be in his life, the things I was able to do or say. But in order for me to do that, I had to be able to show up, to be on a job, and punch in that way. Like, in order for us to get to that uncomfortable kick in the door, linear near ambush, that going to school, that going to therapy, that drawing, that writing, that test, whatever it is, and until we get to that point that we're uncomfortable and we're comfortable enough to say, okay, I need to get a little bit more. I need to punch in a little bit more. I need to get back on my job. I need to start writing a little bit more. I need to start studying a little bit more. I need to start saving a little bit more. I need to start maybe eating a little bit less, but I need to start working out a little bit more. Or I need to start telling my wife and my kids I love them a little bit more. I need to start telling myself. I need to get back on my post for myself. I need to punch in. Like, this could be used in so many ways today and what we going through. We hear about all the suicides, the 22 veterans deaths a day. Like, there's an assignment that you have and something in particular that you need to do. And if you don't punch in, it might be missed by you. I get it. You don't want to be controlled by nobody. Nobody wants to. But if someone's not in control of you, only for a specific period of time, how do you know what to do? Because if we knew what to do, wouldn't we already be doing it? Because we willingly given that control up. Chat, giving that control up. Michigan days and went in the seventh round. Yes, not to that level. I hate Brady, but to get him to that level, laugh out loud. Oh, okay, cool. I think I'm glad you don't hate Brady, man. I like me some man. I don't say love. I use that word very loosely, but I could almost say I love Tom Brady. I love what he represents. Kind of like him and Kobe Bryant. I got mad respect for those guys. I really do. And LeBron James too, for even for where he's at. People could say what they want to say, but to get to that level, I got respect for that. But Brady, I just grew up watching. I was a football guy more than a basketball guy. So, y'all were great. The chemistry was unmatched. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That was a good group of guys. We had a good leadership in seafood, but everybody came to work. Like I said earlier, we worked hard and we played just as hard, and that's what made our platoon. That's what made our squad. That's what made our deployment so easy. So I believe so easy to be able to deal with, to be able to overcome, to be able to get through. Like we went through some pretty interesting things too. We may not have a lot of gunfights and a lot of things blowing up, but we had our fair share of incidents too where people went through some things. So it was interesting, just being around, I guess, the right team. People who want to get to working, no matter what. Just finding the glory in what you have. Not that you have to go to work, that you get to go to work, that you get to punch in. You get to go to a job to allow somebody to pay you for your time, not to even say control you. We willingly giving up our time to get paid. And if we don't want to do that, then it's something else that we could do. But in order to do that, we have to punch in for ourselves too. That's it. We just got to punch in for ourselves too. We have to see that there's nothing that we cannot go through, but you have to get a crew around you. You have to have your battle buddy team. That's what's so interesting. We was in the military and we understood one of the things we were in some people's eyes, we are Tom Brady. You served in the United States Armed Forces, especially if you went overseas and deployed. In somebody's eyes, you are Tom Brady. You are Kobe Bryant. You are a hero to someone because of what you've done, the service you provided, the job that you chose to do, the ticket that you chose to punch in somebody's mind. Now in somebody's life, maybe you a dad, maybe you a father, maybe you a son. You still Tom Brady to someone. I'm Ethan Smith to someone, to my wife, to my kids, to my family, to my friends too. Tim Stryker, Chris Fowles, Whiskey Charlie, Jay Sutton, Wolf. You know what it is to somebody. I think I lost my train of thought. But anyhow, going back to punching in, doing what you need to do for you. If the position that you in don't work for you, then ask yourself, what is it that I need to do? Where do I need to get back on my job at? Where do I need to punch in at? And if you got joy 100% all day, every day in your life, then you could just ignore that. Big Sarge, large and in charge of my one and only self. Horrible representation, because all you can see is a block, a big white screen. You know what I mean? But here, right here, would be me. Interesting. Or would it be? That would be Jesse James Smith. That would be me. Next to him that you could hardly see. Please forgive me. Point I was attempting to make, the shirt that's on me, and I'm talking about punching in, getting back to work. The picture was an image of me standing outside the vehicle that had just flipped over, what I talked about earlier with my PTS and people driving me around in the position that I'm getting ready to take on. Ooh, look at God. I put this shirt on and I didn't even know I was going to share that story about me rolling over. What this is a picture of me and Jesse James Smith. That would be Jesse James Smith right down there. That would be Jesse James Smith right down there. The little blur next to him, that would be me. You can't hardly see me. And the blob in the back would be my Humvee that was rolled over after I got hit. And I didn't know that I was going to share that today. And I just threw this t-shirt on thinking, oh, this will be okay. I can wear this one today. But wow, interestingly enough, why am I saying all that? I wanted to show you that even after that, we had to get back on the job. We had to punch back in because then, after some time had passed, the Iraqi National Army had started getting a little nasty and uncomfortable because of the accident, and they wanted to start starting things, and it got a little bit interesting. But we handled the thing. It was resolved pretty mildly, shall I just say. Yeah, mildly. But anyhow, it was just time. It was time to punch in that instance. It was just time to punch in this instance in my life personally for the reason why I'm going back to work in a certain area of my life. It was a time in my life in 2017 when I had to punch in and do the entrepreneur thing so I could learn this version of me and understand that it's a purpose, a true purpose for me and the gift that he put in me, and it will financially bless me one day, spiritually bless me one day, it emotionally blesses me one day, and it's going to bless other people that I touch in the same way. And that's a pretty cool thing for me. So when you punch in to you and you figure out what it is that you truly want to do, what you call to do, what you passionate about, what pulls at you, that's when you know that the work that you do doesn't control you. The work that you do controls how you put you in the better position to empower you to grow. I'm reading this book by Jamal King called The 9 to 5 Millionaire. He was a millionaire by the age of 26, but he did a 20 years as a Chicago police officer, South Side of Chicago, Chicago in general, probably second or third, maybe fourth generation, but a family of police officers. Built a $10 million portfolio all while working as a police officer, punching in, going to work, and controlling how you see your time and letting the time that you give somebody for 20, 30, $40 an hour, $15 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever you're getting or whatever you get, not seeing your time as them controlling you. See it as them investing in your dreams too. See it as them reinforcing what you really want to do. Because money is just a tool. Just like they attempt to use us, you got to use that tool too. But when you punch in and you get to work and you figure out what you need to do to be a better version of you, that's when you really make it through. If it's getting things right with your wife, I had to do that too. If it's getting things right with your kids, I've been there too. If it's getting things right with your education, that's something I had to grow through, but I did that too. It might be something simple to you. You might think it's something hard for you, but whatever it is that you're growing through, you could do that too. Punch in. Get on your job. Figure it out what it is, what your role is in the team, where you need to be. Figuring out where it is you need to be. Punch in, find the best version of you. Yep, that's it. Ooh, ooh. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure you drop your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me where you're working. Tell me what you need to work on for you to be a better version of you. I took some notes down too, but I never really get to them. It's time to punch in. Yep. Yeah, like I said, I have a couple different opportunities, but in what areas I'd already asked you. It's so funny that they talk about how powerful it is to write down things instead of just kind of freestyling, right? God dog it, I did it again. Big Sarge. I'm attempting not to say the Romeo India Golf Hotel Tango. I don't want to say it no more. There's another individual who I respect dearly, but they always saying that thing when they doing a podcast, and now it's bothering me because I realize I be comparing what I see instead of looking to who I see looking at me. That's what I'm going through when I keep saying that thing. Romeo, India, Golf, Hotel, Tango. It's okay. It's time to punch in. If you don't understand where we at, why I'm tripping, go back to the beginning of this video and watch it all the way through. And I'm pretty sure you're going to understand and you're going to know what I mean when I say I get to go back to work again. I get to punch in. Every day that you wake up, you get to go back to work again. Whatever you choose to work, whatever you choose to allow your higher power to work through you, you get to punch in. It's just like when we decided to be that mighty man, that glorious man, that respected man, that infantry man, that army man, that navy man, that air force man, that marine man, or one man, coast guard, that service man, or one man. You knew when you did that, it was time to punch in. You were respected for the job you do. Now you got another job that you called to. If that part of your life is over, got another job you called to. So you got to punch in and you got to know that you got greatness in you. No matter what others may think of you, you got to know that it's okay to just be you. But you got to believe in you. You got to go after the best version of you, and you got to know that you can do it. Create a schedule for you. You want to know what to do? Create a schedule for you. Create a schedule for you and get a battle buddy too. Get a team if you can. Build a team because you're greater where there's two or three. Build a team for accountability. Somebody that's going to help you punch in. Somebody else who's ready to punch in. Somebody else who's ready to win. Do something to exercise your mind and your body. Do something to exercise your mind and your body. If you got to start with 2 push-ups, start with 2 push-ups. You got to start with 22, start with 22. You got to start with 52, start with 52. Make sure you do some sit-ups too. Do what you could do. I ain't just talking to you. I'm talking to me too. My kids been telling me I got a dad body, so I got to get back on the prime. But you could do anything you put your mind to if you just punch in and start looking at you and start going after you and start holding you accountable. And know that, man, nobody control you but you. That's it. When we was in the infantry, we was punched in. We knew we was the tip of the spear. We didn't feel like we was second tier to anybody unless you was special forces. Then, of course, because most of them was infantry too. They just took it to a whole nother level and turned in blue. That's cool. But outside of that, infantry was always on the job. We knew what we had to do. If you a service member, you know what it's like to be on your post. and something that you called to. And when you in life today, whatever you may be going through, you know what it's like to get on your post and you got to find somebody to talk to, because you not gonna go through this alone. Everything that you go through, somebody gonna be there to probably assist you and help you. Or if they not, you can find someone to. But you got to use your mouth too. You got to be vocal too. So when you got to punch in, let it be known, I'm here. Hello. I'm here to work. I'm ready to put it in. I'm ready to win. New beginnings, uncomfortable space. Put yourself in a better place. Put yourself in a comfortable way. Punch in today. It's going to be uncomfortable for me to go back to a job for a little while, but I got a blueprint. I have a plan for how I'm going to exit again and what that's going to do for me and where my business should be, where I believe it can be and could be based on the things that we've been putting in place. So I'm looking forward to my exit strategy day. When I started this thing, I said it was going to be 10 years. I think this is 2022. I want to say about, June, July. I don't have an exact day, but it was around the summertime where it really began officially in 2017. So I'm about 5 years into a 10-year thing. As long as I stop comparing to what I see other people do and I keep punching in like I'm telling you to do, and I keep showing up for work, although I'm working a job to build a dream too, then it ain't nothing I ain't going to be able to do. It ain't nothing you ain't going to be able to do. That's what you believe when you was a service member too. When we went to war, when we went up against anybody, we felt like we had everything we needed to do what we need to do. And it's the same thing in your life right now to this day too. You just got to believe it for you. You just got to punch in and you got to ask yourself, what job do I need to do for myself to find my greatest internal wealth, to better myself and the people that surround me who loves me? And why is this important to me? How does this affect the people life around me by me just punching in and working for the best version of me? That's it. That's all I got to say today. I hope y'all had fun looking this way. This was a different version of Speak Grunt today, or Grunt Speak as I like to say, because I don't think the other dude got the name trademarked. Anyway, Big Sarge be a little, you know how those old crusty staff sergeants could be, E6s, E7s. I think that probably would have been me if I'd have stayed in for my last 5 years. I'd be funny and it'd be crazy. Yeah. I would probably be retiring this year, but oh well, who living on woulda, coulda, shoulda. I did what I needed to do. Now I'm punching into a new version of me, but I'm still on here talking to grunts by speaking to you. So this is all good too. Hey, do me a favor. Share this video. Make sure you comment down below. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you don't like about the show. If y'all don't interact with us, how in the hell will we know? Everybody knew the mission. Everybody knew the assignment. From the highest man to the lowest man. You had a need to know. Always knew 2 positions up, 2 positions beneath you. So, man, tell us what's working for you and tell us what you don't like too. Because there's some things that I don't like that we do. And I'm going to keep that between me and the crew. I ain't going to put the business out there because that ain't what a good soldier would do. I ain't had no investigation. But I'm asking you, what is it that you respect that we do, you like that we do, you think we could do better too, or you think, oh, this is pretty cool? AARs, after action review. I'm just asking you. Hey, Chris, hey, what's going on, brother? We're 3 hours behind. Oh, man, you got to have to go back on and hit rewind. I think I got about 7 or 8 minutes left before I get up out of here myself. How's California treating you? So I'll attempt to bring you up to speed if you're still there, Chris, in the next 10 minutes and tell you what I was talking about if you're going to go back and rewind it. So, talking about punching in today and getting ready to go. I got to go back to work, but I get to go back to work again. And what does that mean for me? For about 4 years, I've been doing the entrepreneur thing, building a speaking thing and a coaching thing. Not thing, the business, the Mr. Peen brand. Building that and also becoming a better family man, a better husband, becoming a father, having kids already, but really becoming a father, and being married before, but really becoming a husband. So, talking about time to punch in and thinking about, for the last 4 years, been doing the entrepreneur life and getting everything right with my wife. Now it's time for me to get my truly always get my finances right. So it's time for me to get a job again. So I got to go punch in. But then I realized it's not a bad thing. It don't control me. I just got to put the blueprint on and have the exit strategy. And then how can I take this and use it for my business to benefit me? And that's what God was giving me. It's just time to punch in. It's time to go to work. So he started giving it to me like a operations order. That was the warno, and I received the mission. I'm going to work, but here's the thing that I'm going to do with it. The mission is to execute and get some things in order to invest in the business. I have 3 buckets of things to do. So it's just talking about punching in. Whatever you need to punch in on, whether it be your marriage, whether it be your education, whether it be your spirituality, whether it be just getting a better relationship with your children, wherever you feel like it's time for you to get back to work at, wherever you feel like it's time to punch in at, whether it's, going to therapy, whether it's begin to study again, to meditate, to stop drinking, to stop smoking, wherever we feel like we have to punch in at to get back to work at that. So we can get back to the best version of ourselves, a healthy version of ourselves. And not blaming or asking or holding anyone else accountable to do that thing that we could do for ourselves, but building a battle buddy team to hold us accountable, as well as us holding them accountable for us to build that team well. And we all know it's easier when you don't have to do it by yourself. So, yes, you are 2 hours behind Texas, 3 hours behind Michigan. And I guess that would be 2 hours behind Tennessee as well. But anyhow, that's what we was talking about. That's what I was talking about for my all by myself. There's no Whiskey Charlie and no Killer Wolf today. God just had me sharing about punching in and going back to the job and using it to your advantage. And I was talking about some steps to take to get back to work. Set a schedule for yourself. Put some goals up for yourself, where you want to be, what you want to do. Don't just talk about it. Make that thing a reality. Make it become true. Get an accountability partner. Matter of fact, get 2, get a 3. Hell, if you could get a squad, that'll work too. Do a phone tree, make some calls, be accountable. Set realistic goals for yourself and work on it till they come true. I have to be honest with you. I've been fighting to get my way back to it, to get through. I see Killer Wolf, he always working out, doing what he got to do. I see Whiskey Charlie always working in the yard, but I don't know what goals he got set for himself too. But I'm just saying, what you got set for you? What do you have set for you? I do have a few other goals set for me, but not for this particular thing that we talking about right now. But anyhow, wow. I don't think I talked your ear off today, even though I'm about 13 seconds away from being an hour flat. Now, it could be I did talk a whole bunch because it's 60 minutes. Look at that. But hey, man, you just got to go punch in. And I'm grateful that I talked to my buddy Knox again, and he gave me a different way of looking at it. Not that I was failing, that I was doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing when you decide to punch in. Anytime you're looking to get the W, you're looking to win. You're looking to win for the greater good of the team. Then you definitely win. And that's the dream right there. So punch in, man. Go get the help that you may need physically. Go get the help that you may need spiritually. Go get the help that you may need emotionally. Go get the help that you may need mentally. Go to get the help that you may need financially. Go get the help that you may need in any way you need the help that you feel you deserve. Punch into you, ask your higher power, I call him God, what he wants you to do, what job is for you, so you can so you can make your dreams and your passions become true, make them become a reality for you, not just watching other people do what they do. You have a gift too, but you got to tune in to you and you got to ask God what's for you. And I dare you, double dog dare you, punch in and be true blue, especially if you carry that title on you. 11B, 11 Charlie, 11 Alpha, 03, 11 2. Or if you just got some pride about you because you was a serviceman or a one man and that's what you was called to do. Or you just got some pride about you because you found out you're a greater version of you. Whichever way suits you. But I double dog dare you to punch in, get on a job to go get the best version of you. That's it. That's all I'm through. Hold on. Let's go. I like that I like that you inspire and help people who have never been in the military. You inspire people and you educate people. That is priceless. Well, thank you very much, Miss Charlene. I appreciate that because I don't always see myself in that light, and I'm gonna end it right there and not do anything more but say thank you. I appreciate that. I do. Chris, I love you too, brother. And I love you back. I hope y'all enjoying yourself in California. Yeah, you definitely got to tap in with me when you get back to Tennessee. We may definitely have to talk about that at vacay one day. Me and my wife need to get away. We really do. We need to get away. But anyhow, I hope y'all have a blessed and wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I am going to go do my dishes because it's my dish day. And I am going to go eat some dinner until my bae come home from couponing. And I'm going to get prepared for an early day tomorrow. It's time to punch in, man. Set a blueprint. Have a game plan. Get a strategy for what you get ready to punch into. What job you getting ready to do. Whether it's working on the mental part of you, whether it's working on the physical part of you, whether it's working on the emotional part of you, the financial part of you. Whatever it is that you're working on, that you're going through, make sure that you create a blueprint. I got 3 simple buckets. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hold on. I'm gonna show you how simple I'm starting right now. If you can see on the middle of this page, it's 3 simple buckets. 3 buckets. And I have a plan following up under those 3 buckets. That's how I'm gonna punch in. That's why I'm gonna start my new beginning and what I'm gonna do with this job that I'm getting ready to go do so I could give me to more of you and use me. God can use me bigger than I ever thought he could do. But I gotta invest in me, so I gotta go do the job thing. Invest in you by going after everything that's stressing you, that's testing you. Release it to God and watch how he bless you. That's it. That's all. I'm really through grunts. Hey, I hope this motivation and inspiration, that's a Mr. Peen thing. Hey, It's Big Sarge, largely in charge. By Grunts for Grunts. Everybody welcome, but everybody cannot and will not be a member. 11B, 11C, 11 Alpha, 03, 2. You know what it do. And the people that support that whole family and that entire crew, and then my Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard brother and sister, and two. Peace. We love you. Share this video. I'm out. I was looking to end the broadcast, but it was just me on here, no Whiskey Charlie, anybody else. So that's why I was like, all by myself. Big Sarge out.